Now, I could get angry, and I still might get angry.
5 minutes later.
Get fucked, burn down, I don't care. Fire everybody. That's the only way you're going to fix this shit.
Dirterotic.com.
This has been happening for so long, and we're seeing it from two properties that are dying right before, well, that are realizing they're dead right before our eyes. Not dying, already dead. Companies that own them are starting to realize it now. Mandalorian suit actor Brendan Wayne blasts toxic Star Wars fans while defending the Mandalorian and Grogu's box office failure. Now, I was kind of putting up for, I was like, Brendan Wayne should play the Mandalorian, get rid of Pedro Pascal. They don't look alike, they don't walk alike, but Brendan Wayne is John Wayne's grandson. So I'm sure Brendan Wayne got this job completely on his own talent to wear a suit and walk around, and didn't get his job because John Wayne was his grandpa. Nepo baby, Brendan Wayne. Now, before we get started here, I want to make it clear that I would never run one of these companies because they never hire me. But if I did, my first order of business would be putting the fear of God into these people. If you disrespect the company or customers, you're gone. If you disrespect the fans in any way, shape, or form, you're gone. You can have your political beliefs and you can spout those off and you can attack a leader. At that point, I don't really care. But once you start going after the people who pay your fucking bills and my bills, you're gone. That needs to be instituted in Hollywood, because the constant conflation of, and this is in every group of people, always pointing out the worst. It is a fallacy of composition. A fallacy of composition, which is basically you got a couple of bad apples and you're going to blame the whole bunch. There's always going to be people who are trolls, but what they choose to do, they being Lucasfilm, Paramount, in charge of Star Trek, Marvel Comics, DC Comics, the BBC, they choose to pick those 2 or 3 people saying the worst things and apply that to all of you. By the way, they're calling you toxic fans, but it's totally okay to call you a misogynist, a Nazi, a fascist, a bigot. That's fine, but don't call them a bag of sticks. But it's that constant conflation, that constant bunching everybody up, a fandom that's generally good. Most fandoms are generally good. And there is a thing called toxic positivity as well. But the fallacy of composition is what we constantly see from these freaking twats in access media, and from some of the fans who have, content creators who have hung on. And in particular, it is content creators who have hitched their channel wagon to one franchise almost every time. Every time. I'm talking specifically about Tharis, who put in his thumbnail blaming Doctor Who fans. He put all the worst terminology in it. It's like, oh, I kind of seem to remember your side calling all of us a bunch of fucking Nazis and fascists, but that's cool, right? That's cool. Okay. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but it does bother me when it's put to you guys who have supported Star Wars, Star Trek, and Doctor Who for years and made it what it is. See, the reason it's worth billions or was worth billions is because of you. And it's really strange that these companies buy these IPs for the built-in fan base, and the first thing they want to do is piss you off. Look at Stargate. We also need to keep in mind how you have been treated for the last 10 years. Let's keep that in mind as we read this, shall we? The blame game surrounding Disney Star Wars struggles is showing no signs of slowing down, and now one of the actors behind Din Djarin himself is weighing in. Brendan Wayne, one of the performers who physically portrays the Mandalorian in The Mandalorian and The Mandalorian and Grogu, God, titling's a lost art, is drawing criticism from fans after describing portions of the Star Wars fan base as toxic. Any grown-ass fucking man who isn't gay, who uses that word unironically, is gay. while simultaneously defending the disappointing box office performance of Lucasfilm's latest theatrical release. The comments come as The Mandalorian and Grogu continues to be viewed by many as Disney's weakest theatrical Star Wars launch. It is. It is the weakest. It will lose the most money. It will generate the least money. It's not even going to hit solo numbers. It's not even close. It's going to be on VOD in, what do you think, chat, next week? I said beginning of July. Let's be nice. It's on VOD around the 3rd of July. I know they said they were going to have it was 90-day window. Shit, no. Hell no. The comments come as The Mandalorian and Grogu continues to suck. Despite being positioned as the triumphant return of Star Wars to theaters. No, they've pushed the goalpost now. That's going to be Star Wars Starfighter. That's when Star Wars is going to turn it around, guys. Going to happen any second. A years-long hiatus that was almost 7 years, by the way. The film struggled to generate the kind of excitement Disney and Lucasfilm had hoped for. Speaking in a recent interview highlighted by Star Wars Holocron on X, Wayne argued that some fans have become overly possessive of the franchise and are actively rooting against Star Wars projects because they no longer feel connected to the direction of the brand. I think it's completely fine to speak out that you don't feel connected to a brand you have loved all your life, and you know what? You fucking idiot. You're taking the time to use your voice to go, I've been a longtime customer. I want to keep being a customer, but I can't be if you keep making this shit. As a small business owner, one of the worst things is to quietly lose the customer. When the customer cares enough to tell you to fix your shit or tell you a suggestion, you fucking listen because the customer's always right, even when they're wrong. You treat them like they're right and you treat them with respect. And sometimes they did have some great ideas, right? I got some great ideas from customers. But it's that customer who just goes, oh, fuck them, and walks away quietly. That's the vast majority. And that's what's happened to Star Wars. And you bought Star Wars, Disney, because it was filled with fans who felt very possessive of it. You take the good with the bad. And there's far more good. And the thing is, they weren't the hardest people to satisfy. You had to really work to fuck up this much, to alienate this much of the biggest cinematic intellectual property fandom in the world that will ever exist and will never exist again for an American company. It's interesting to see people who are pulling against the franchise that they love just because of their ownership. Man, he was fed this bullshit because I've heard this for so long. So this empty-headed fucking chuckle fuck Nepo baby, adult pretender who isn't even good enough to like use his words is regurgitating the same fucking shit we were hearing 10 years ago. I said I wasn't going to get mad. It wasn't entirely true. That could be 100% toxic in the Star Wars world. It's to be present and to watch it. And if you don't connect, cool. But we don't need to hear how bad you are. This is fucking America. America that used to be symbolized by your granddad who played Genghis Khan, okay? That they ruined your Star Wars. They didn't ruin your Star Wars. It's our Star Wars. Oh my fucking God. And there's Ryan looking just disgusted. I mean, that's his resting face right there, but he's looking properly disgusted. Jay just looks glad to be there. I'm gonna be real. The final line in particular has generated significant backlash online, with many longtime fans arguing that criticism of the Disney era Star Wars is not rooting in toxicity, it's disappointment. For many viewers, the issue isn't that they want Star Wars to fail. It's that they believe Disney and Lucasfilm have repeatedly failed to live up to the standards established by George Lucas' original 6-film saga. So we are rooting for Disney Star Wars to fail. Absolutely. They have earned it at this point. I'm absolutely enjoying it. I'm rooting for it. That's the only thing I care about right now is their failure. Fuck them. They've had plenty of chances to turn it around. But when behind the scenes, when these motherfuckers tried to deplatform channels through other channels over criticism, that's where I lose any fucking sympathy. Get fucked, burn down. I don't care. Fire everybody. That's the only way you're going to fix this shit. And you've been blaming the fandom for years for your failures. It is our Star Wars, motherfucker. until it's not. And then it goes in the vault for you, because once it's not ours anymore and we stop paying for it, it doesn't exist. And the thing is, Star Wars, for the Christian Harloffs out there who busted their ass being a Star Wars fan for years, when we were younger, it was like the one sci-fi thing that was almost considered cool. You'd still get picked on for it, but it was almost considered cool. Star Wars was always cool. It started fading a little bit when the prequels came out, but with my generation, it was considered cool, right? But like, it didn't lose its coolness after the prequels. Actually, it grew a little bit. Star Wars is not cool anymore. People look at your brand and roll their eyes. That is not Star Wars. That is Disney Star Wars. Star Wars has not failed. Disney has failed. What are we rooting for? We are rooting for the failure of the people who are in charge of Star Wars. That's what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Pablo Hidalgo to get fired. I'm rooting for Dave Filoni to get fired. I'm rooting for Kathleen Kennedy to get fucking fired. Absolutely rooting for it. 100%. Go fucking work somewhere else. See what you're qualified at. Pablo Hidalgo. Remember when Pablo Hidalgo backed up the people who started a GoFundMe against Gina Carano? Remember when Pablo Hidalgo was liking tweets who were tangentially, not so tangentially, completely connected to the people who were trying to deplatform this channel? Yeah, I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. And the thing is, you could have taken down our channel. You could take down Ryan's channel. There would have been 50 more that came up. It wouldn't have stopped shit. But they made it a personal a long time ago when they started inventing this term toxic fandom. Remember when you were Russian bots and a small minority, and then that rewriting Ripley thing came out and it looked like we fucking groomed Ryan? You know, Ryan's always been like that, okay? Just keep in mind. We've gone through this journey together for many, many years. And the only thing left to be said is, and it's a question, how fucking stupid are you, Disney? Dave Filoni's in charge. Everybody who was under Kathleen Kennedy is still there. How are they going to fix the problem when they created it, when they are the problem? The answer is they can't. And you don't know what to do. And you're afraid to fire them because you're afraid of your own employees. But everybody should look, you know, it's terrible, but it should be cleaned out completely. But they won't. See, the Star Wars that we love doesn't exist anymore. So I'm rooting for this zombie to be killed. I'm tired of you reanimating this corpse. And everybody involved in reanimating the corpse, I would love to see them fired. If any of us sucked at our job as much as they did, we'd be fired from our fucking jobs. Fans pushed back against the narrative. The reaction online was swift. Many fans pointed out that they have enthusiastically supported Star Wars projects they believe are well made while criticizing. You don't need to defend yourself, fandom. You don't need to do this anymore. You don't need to put in qualifiers. Fuck them. They want you on your back feet all the time. You don't need to say shit. You know what? Go, yeah, we want you to fail. You're terrible at your job. You deserve to fail. This is, you know, we still live somewhat in a meritocracy. You don't have to go, I like some stuff. It's like, I'm not racist. Fuck that shit. You don't need to do that. You like good stuff when it's good, or you hate bad stuff when it's bad. This is all bad. All of Disney Star Wars is bad. None of it is great. There might be a good thing here and there, but none of it is great. They haven't made anything great. Star Wars used to be great. One recurring argument is that if Star Wars fans were truly determined to hate everything, Disney producers acclaim projects such as Andor and the Jedi video game series would not have received the overwhelming positive reception they enjoyed. Yeah, you're going into their argument. Fuck them. Fuck Star Wars Holocron and all these little fucking knob polishing accounts out there. They have been part of the problem too. They wanted to maintain their access with their toxic positivity, so they're willing to throw you under the bus without realizing that they're attacking fans too. They need fans too. If you want to be get any kind of attention online using somebody else's brand. The Mandalorian and Grogu star Brendan Wayne with the perfect take about toxic Star Wars fans. Is it? You know what? Star Wars Holocron, I can't wait, it's happening right now, for you to dwindle into obscurity. You know, and it's all life lessons. Maybe you'll learn something from it. Maybe you'll learn that you don't want to, if you want to talk about entertainment, don't hit your wagon to one fucking IP. It's not a good idea. Wayne also filmed, I don't even hear this. How are you going to defend the film's box office? It's not going to make $400 million. The The real debate isn't about toxicity. The larger issue raised by Wayne's comments is one that has become increasingly common across modern entertainment. The fans reject a movie, television series, or video game. Are they acting out of toxicity, or are they simply expressing dissatisfaction as paying customers? Well, we know the answer to that. Many Star Wars fans would argue that criticism is not only fair, but necessary and deserved. After all, some of the franchise's most beloved projects emerged precisely because the creators listened to the audience feedback rather than dismissing it. Whether one agrees or with Wayne or not, his comments are likely to reignite an ongoing debate that has followed Star Wars for years, who ultimately owns the franchise. Well, you know what? You do. Disney. You do. It's all yours. It's all yours. You can have it. You can keep it. Keep doing what you're doing and see how many fans you have left. It's all yours. You spent billions and you've put a lot of hard work into completely fucking it up. So, tip to the hat. Enjoy the future. You dumb fucks.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.